Hi everyone, in this video, I'm going to talk about how to speak powerfully and assertively. I'm Ilham Ibrahimov. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. In the previous video, I talked about politeness, specifically how politeness relates to power. But today I want to focus only on power. There's a general rule in communication. The more power a speaker has, the less politeness they need to use. There's also an inverse rule. The less polite someone is with you, the more powerful you tend to perceive them. We understand this subconsciously because we know how power and politeness work together. When someone uses a lot of politeness with us, like hedging, indirect language, softening their words, or overusing please, we read that as deference. They're signaling that they see us as having more power. In some cultures, people physically bow to show deference, but in others, people bow verbally by softening their language and avoiding directness. Even though it's verbal, the signal is the same. I've seen this many times in professional situations where someone needs to challenge or correct a person they see as more powerful. Instead of saying, I recommend option X, they say things like, would you maybe consider option X? Or, I'm not sure, but perhaps. These are deference strategies, verbal bowing. Here's the key idea, and it's ironic. To sound powerful, don't be overly polite. Politeness is a form of verbal deference and assertiveness is the opposite of that. If you want to be perceived as confident and powerful, be direct. That means no hedging, no indirect language, no beating around the bush, and no unnecessary apologies. Say what you need to say as clearly and directly as possible. Strip it down and say it in the most straightforward way you can. The less verbal deference you use, the more powerful you'll be perceived, because people know this rule even if they can't explain it. When you don't rely on politeness, others assume you don't need it. One important caveat is that if you're dealing with someone who clearly has formal or institutional power over you, you need to be careful and show appropriate deference. But in situations where power is unclear, shared, or negotiable, and you want to assert yourself, drop the verbal deference. This doesn't mean being rude or aggressive. It means being clear, direct, and unapologetic. So try it. Politeness is closely tied to deference, and in many situations, politeness is the opposite of power. If you want to speak assertively and powerfully, don't be too polite. Try being more direct and see how people respond. Let me know how it goes. See you next time.